So, as I said, yes, this is what is a podcast in 2025. Here to tell us, first of all from Acast, we've got Eddie Scott and Gabriella Cox, and they will be joined by, yes, I think we can whoop, and a clap even. Yeah. You're going to have to, yes, come up, by all means. Your public demands you, like before I've even finished even introducing everyone. And host of Rich Beyond My Wildest Dreams, Sarel. Another round of applause.
Excuse me, sorry. Have a clicker. Podium. Good start, everyone, eh? That was all part of the act, I promise you. Hello, everyone doing all right? Having a nice day so far? Wonderful, wonderful. Love to see all your faces. Love to see some very friendly faces front row here. Yeah, we're here to answer one of life's great questions. What is a podcast in 2025 specifically? So just by way of quick intros, I'm Gabby, sales director at Acast. We've got the wonderful Sarel here, podcast host, creator, all-round queen of vibes, I'd say. And then, I can't really beat that with you, Eddie, can I? But head of Acast Creative for UK and Ireland as well. So we will be chatting just a minute shortly about one of our amazing podcasts that we've launched. But I just want to take a few minutes to set the scene, immerse you in the very exciting world of podcasting in 2025, would you believe it? So I'm actually going to skip that one over because I'm going to go straight into it. But I want to just take a few minutes to set the scene and give you the 3 key pillars of podcasting in 2025. And there we go, we're up there now. So kicking off with listening, which is absolutely our favourite. It's what we're all about. We're all about that power of sound, and the magic of podcasts still comes from listening, there's no doubt. Our audio reach is growing each year. We're seeing up to 42% people weekly. And with lower health foods restrictions not applying to audio, everybody, that looks like pretty good scale for brands, doesn't it? So I promise there won't be too many sales points in this, but had to get that one in there. We're also all about incremental reach this year too across audio. So we know that 25% of people that are listening to podcasts are not listening to any radio. So it's about measurement. I've heard that a couple of times today, particularly in cross-media measurement. And we're exploring routes to make sure that we're showing up for you and showing up for your brands to prove that worth too. So it's worth me saying podcasts are audio first, but they're not only. And we see creators continue to flock to us to take advantage of that very nature of it. But we are undoubtedly on a much hyped journey with podcasting, and it's rapidly evolving. Key players are moving to video for distribution, for creative, for monetization, and listeners are fast becoming viewers to podcasting, there's no doubt. Formats are following suit. We've just launched our very first video format in simulcast, and we've done that because we can see that people are watching, with 51% of people in the last week alone, higher for Gen Z as well, watching a podcast. YouTube itself is the biggest app for doing so, and it's seen 400 million hours of watching across the last month on the TV app. So that same screen that people are watching ITV or Netflix, Disney, they're consuming podcasts on too, and they want to engage in completely new ways. And here's a little sneak peek at some of our very lovely, sexy set. Hosts, creators, they're on that journey with us, and they are building TV studio-worthy sets to go alongside it, and viewers are literally buying into cushions, couches. Everyone wants to buy Gary, don't they, from the Rich Beyond set, like myself included. He's our wonderful leopard coffee table you can see there. Also saw on the Traitors, I think, this year.
Yeah, they stole it.
Yeah, they stole it. No. We started that, yeah, Claudia.
How dare they?
We started that trend. But we are ultimately creating a whole new layer of shoppability and engagement for brands to tap into their obsession with podcasts. And last but not least, we are feeling podcasts this year too. Some plucky sellers back in 2020, myself included, said it was the year of the live, and spoiler alert, it was not. But live absolutely is now, and it means a multitude of things to creators, whether it's live streams on their platforms, whether it's live events, social community fan pages, or as the wonderful Fred, Temi, and VP on the screen right now showed, is actually hosting a blood drive in their local Brixton Community Centre on the back of an NHS-BT partnership. So I know we say this a lot, but actually it turns out media really does save lives. So yeah, I will wrap up very shortly and hand over and chat to these wonderful pair alongside me, but just want to land a couple of points with you before we do so. We really have arrived in the world of omni-channel now, and that is being employed by any of the podcasts you can see on the screen behind me in terms of listening, in terms of watching, in terms of feeling, and it's about making sure that the formats that they build in fit the content, the style, and the audience, and keep that really authentic connection and conversation that podcasts are so well known and loved for. And for you, brands, agencies, friends, etc., there's never been a better time to have podcasts front and center of your media strategies. We can do some pretty cool things with podcasting, whether it's dwell time, as you can see here, and we've seen from Rich Beyond, it's favorability, and in a world where we know your budgets are under more scrutiny than ever before, pretty sexy one, people take action when they listen to podcast advertising too. I've got to get sexy in there somewhere. But yes, to kick off part 2, it's time to hear why a brand and team really close to our hearts have taken the plunge and created an all listening, all watching, all feeling podcast of their very own, which is into its 2nd series and our most successful branded series launch to date. Yeah, absolutely. It's Rich Beyond My Wildest Dreams from Allwyn, Euro Millions, and the wonderful team at Hearts and Science. And this could be Q Sizzle Reel, or it could be Eddie talking it through because we're just having some fun with some technical difficulties.
You have just won the Euro Millions jackpot. Welcome to Rich Beyond
Welcome to Rich Beyond My Wildest Dreams! As many dough balls as you like.
I need to know what the whole of the steps in S Club 7 are doing, because I'm creating a super group.
Although I would buy Pret a Manger, I call it Pret McNally.
Do you know what? I'd buy Toby Carvery.
I'm going to buy Blackpool Airport.
Go on. You're going to press that button for Cherry? Wow.
Karen Kuzi! I knew it! The golden buzzer!
Oh my God, what a relief, eh? Not that you wouldn't have done that justice, Eddie, in the slightest, or Sarel equally, but no, wanted to chat to you both now, because obviously you are both instrumental to this coming to life. Kicking off with you, Sarel, you are a woman of many talents, a stand-up comic, podcast host, as we've just seen, and you have a hugely loyal community of fans across the many platforms that you tap into, myself included, saying how I have enjoyed a few of Sarel's amazing TikTok Love Island debriefs in my time. Guilty. But what is it about podcasting in particular, and what does it offer you as a creator in 2025?
I mean, that sizzle reel just says a lot. I think podcasting is like a great new way to allow my audience to get to know me in a long form way. I have done Rich Beyond My Wildest Dreams, I've done Closet Confessions,
Yes.
I've done Famously in Love, almost forgot there. And they're all, I know, right? They're all different podcasts that do different things, and I just think there's no limit to podcasting really. Like, it just constantly evolves and takes a life of its own. And not only do your audience want to follow you, but then you also get new audience who are like, oh, I only know you from this. I didn't even know you did other things. So I just think it's so versatile, and it's a fun way for creators to really be creative.
The opportunities really are endless, I suppose, in what you can put out there on the content as well. Do you find quite a lot of back and forth with your community in terms of what they want from you, if it was to bring a podcast to them as well?
Oh, yeah. Lots of people have asked, just in general, my usual content, people have asked me to expand that into podcasting form, which is very exciting. But, I mean, bloody hell, there's only so many podcasts to do, do you know what I mean? But no, there definitely is hunger for it. People want to hear from you more. So I find it really fascinating. I've been asked to do like a Love Island one. I'm like, there's an official one, so I feel like I might get sued, guys.
I was going to say, just hot off the press.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's a great way for like my audience to just ask for more, and I think podcasting is endless, really.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what we are trying to say, and we can see obviously with the 3 pillars of podcasting this year that it's not just listening anymore. There are just so many ways of engaging. And I suppose, Eddie, given we are in a room full of incredible brand ambassadors and clients, the same question to you, but with more of a media spin on it, I suppose. What can you see offering, what do you think podcasting offers brands this year and beyond, obviously?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, because I think this campaign is actually a really good microcosm of like where podcasting has been and where it is now. Because 3 years ago, we did this campaign with Sarel, but it was in Sarel's kitchen, and it was like a 3-minute conversation embedded into an episode of Closet Confessions, which was brilliant. And, you know, like embedding content in existing podcasts is still the lion's share of what we do, and it is still absolutely a surefire strategy. But if you move 3 years down the line, we're producing that same content, but we've got a full purpose-built studio. We have a really big production team.
We have a Gary.
We have Gary, and we have 2 series, right? So like that, I think, is a really good sign of just how much growth there is in this space. I think in terms of what can a brand get from podcasting in 2025, I do think this is one of the really, really exciting opportunities in terms of moving from renting audiences to creating your own content. So there are two things I'd point to, right? The first is 28-minute dwell times.
We had it on the slides.
We did have it on the slides for a reason. So 28 minutes engagement with an audience is pretty unparalleled in the modern media landscape.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at the way people thunder through social feeds, how out of home is consumed, etc., the ability to get an audience to sit with you for 28 minutes is really, really hard to come by these days. And it means that you can tell a full story across multiple acts, you can gain a real relationship with your audience, and the end result is ultimately affinity, preference, and then purchase. That is what our research has shown. But likewise, I think often the benefits of that, the sacrifice is often seen as reach and scale, but the truth is that you can create hero assets, which is each of your episodes, and from those you can create tens and tens and tens of cut downs that can be disseminated across social media to achieve reach and scale, so you really can get the best of both worlds these days.
Yeah, which is kind of what you went back to saying, Sarel, as well, in terms of a podcast isn't just a podcast anymore, and those clips, those cut downs, that extra reach you get, and we've seen you're doing behind the scenes kind of get ready with videos, aren't you, for it, to further promote what Rich Beyond can offer. So it's not even just the podcast content, it's beyond that too.
Yeah, it has like a life of its own outside of it, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just truly a beast, but in the best possible way, isn't it? So that connection to consumers directly is absolutely so powerful. And it's clear that podcasts are great for brands, for creators as well. And you're aligning to, whether it's aligning to one of our hundreds of thousands of shows we've got or creating your own. But it's not just about making a pod and hoping for the best. You want to make sure it's a success. And that's why Sarel's here today, because she's very much part of this, spoiler alert. But how, Eddie, kicking off with you quickly and then over to Sarel, how do you see this making it a success? What do we need to do to make sure that this lands and reaches the right people?
Yeah, I'll rattle through three things really quickly. So firstly, I would say entertain first and brand second. If you try and do it the other way around, you're just not going to achieve engagement. The second thing I would say would be get a fantastic host. Your host is the anchor of your series. Find someone who is brilliant at gaining rapport with people. And yeah, I think those are the two big secrets to producing a great branded series.
Just two, simple. There we go. You heard it here first. But I suppose to that point, and obviously it makes sense to kick off with that, exactly the host point of view, Sarel. You are totally right for Rich Beyond, and you mentioned we started in your kitchen, when it was talking about this piece. And we should say, obviously, with this podcast, it is asking what you would do with the €200 million jackpot, which is a question I'm sure we've all probably asked in the pub, in our living rooms with our friends, but it's not necessarily just for this. That's the hook. We can find that for pretty much any brand. But Sarel, back to this podcast, why is it so right for you as a project, and what do you love about it?
I mean, when the first time we did it 3 years ago as like a feed-in ad, it was like I have this conversation all the time with my friends, my brothers, like it's a very normal, like I daydream about what I would do. 200 million, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and then when you guys came back, it was like, not only do I love to yap, I love to hear other people's insane ideas. So it aligned really well because entertainment was at like the forefront of it. And you know, love Rich Beyond my wildest dreams, but if they had made me, you know, read out stats about the lottery, I'd been like, I don't care. Peace and love, I don't. But if we're going to entertain and we're going to, you know, we're putting the audience first because that's what people want to do, and then you take that conversation out of the podcast and it goes further. So I love the fact that it's entertainment first. I love the fact that it's like a collaborative team. Yeah. We had a call about the set, and I remember my eyes just like, I have all these ideas, and it's so much fun when they've got budget. And then you can request things like a buzzer and like confetti cannons, and it's nice having a team that also want and align with your vision and want it to be entertaining and fun and just a really good podcast standalone above everything else. That's just to name a few. I could keep going.
No, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there, because this is a branded series, and we're here talking about podcasts in general, obviously, and the power of them, but specifically this is a branded series. But I guess question to either of you, what is it that's so magic about this, and how do you find the balance between branded and fun and the content that we're producing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite simple. I think it's the entertain first, brand second really is everything, because like I said, you have 28 minutes to play with here, so you have plenty of time to get your brand message across, heaps of time, but you also have so much time to entertain, and that's ultimately what people are going to keep coming back for. So that's what I would say the secret is.
I would say ask for, no, it's easy to ask for
Beg for forgiveness.
Beg, then ask. I always say the things I'm not supposed to say, basically, and then I leave it to Eddie and the team to like be like, hey, this is really good. Like they fight for the stuff that's like kind of the brand's like, oh, we're a bit scared to go down that route, you know.
And some of it doesn't make it.
Some of it doesn't make it, but it's great, you know, on the day. And the guests also, that's like another big part, like the guests are part of like the team as well, because you want them to loosen up and say the wild and wacky stuff. So yeah, I basically just say everything, and then Eddie and the team whittle it down to what can be said.
We've got some great producers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's probably words to live a life by. Beg for forgiveness, not permission.
That's the one. You got it.
Is that how to end a panel at this future of Audio 2025? I think so. We are out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today. Very quickly, what would you do with 200 million jackpot?
Right move, Skyscanner, cool mum.
Okay, done. Sarel?
Private Island.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair.
Yours were quite boring, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's why you're the talent.
Good ideas, that was so boring.
That's why you're the talent.
He's got the cool mum in it. With that, we'll leave you to it. Go and have a little think about what you do with 200 million. We aren't offering it, sorry.